It has been a hell of a week. I think I've been averaging like 5 hours or less of sleep every night.
No,
Yeah,
that's not good.
it's been very intense, very intense. Let's see if it's working here. All right. Ah, good morning, everybody. I was on Clubhouse at midnight last night uh, for the NFT tips event, and probably didn't sleep until maybe 2 o'clock. Oof. But I spent some time over in Decentraland during the event, and it's Decentraland's getting like really good. Um, they're rolling out a lot of features very quickly, at least from the last time I hung out there. But I think the plan is maybe next week we'll do a simultaneous hangout in Discord and hangout in Decentraland or Cryptovoxels. I think I'll probably maybe we should run a poll to see next week which virtual world we want to hang out in next. Are you guys have you guys ever tested out any of the virtual worlds? Either Decentraland, Cryptovoxels, Sandbox?
The Spark.
Come
Just
again, Chris?
Decentraland.
Oh, I tested out the Spark. I was pretty impressed.
Oh, the Spark. This is the one. That's the Austin one.
Nashville. That was the one
Nashville.
that was willing to give us a building.
Yeah. Well, is that fully live, or do they have? And is it NFT based?
Um, there's NFT functionality, but right now it's just virtual sporting arenas, virtual campus, virtual meeting rooms. It's set up pretty neat. They do a whole lot with proximity. So um, they've got these tables with blue circles around them, and if you sit at the tables, you're instantly in a private conversation with others at the table. It's they got a lot going on that's neat. They can do um, you can share your screen, project it onto any number of screens or stadiums. Um, you can have like NFT art, things like that.
Mm. Yeah, actually, Joe Cow did some research and tested out building out some virtual spaces for us over in Cryptovoxels and Decentraland. I think it was a week or two ago, and I think the coolest thing is we are actually like able to pull up all of our Leyline NFTs like right there, like on the spot. And I think the easiest use case for us is to actually just build our art gallery, and like we can just create our home, create our building, and then have all of our NFTs up for display. You can click through on the details and see the metadata, and then jump into OpenSea to start to bid on it. So I think that's going to be our first thing that we do. Um, so the what I'm gonna test out is we'll probably like just hang out in someone else's space that like I can connect with over in one of the other avatar communities, and um yeah, just start to display our like our NFT collectibles there and just hang out. Then the next phase, besides having our NFT artwork, is starting to build actual wearables. So in Decentraland, they have an API where you can design like clothes or accessories or helmets or whatever with Leyline NFTs, and so basically that'll be like the next level where your NFTs will have additional functionality in Decentraland, for example, where it turns into your accessories. So there's some pretty cool stuff we'll be able to do in the medium to long term.
Is your thought on this that we pick one home within sort of virtual world and kind of tie our identity to it, or to be spread out amongst multiple virtual communities um, to get different audiences?
Yeah, I think we'll have presence pretty much in every metaverse. That's my take. And then we just start with the ones that have the biggest communities and or easiest to implement and or cheapest land to buy. So I think it's that combination of factors, which is why Decentraland and CryptoVoxels are the kind of the easier low hanging fruit because that's where a lot of people are already gravitating towards. But land is already get pretty pricey. I think like you to buy a parcel of land, we're probably talking about at least like 8K up to 25K, depending on like what area you're aiming for. I don't think we need to go for any like high demand real estate or whatever because honestly it's so early now that anything you anything you get is going to be prime real estate.
I'm guessing none of these have any non discounts.
Say it again.
I'm guessing none of these places have non discounts.
Discounts?
Yeah, for not for profits.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think they're actually all and they're all auctions and bids. So it's kind of decentralized and anonymous. Um, but who knows how things will develop over time. And I think what happens as well is that there are a lot of landowners that end up just like renting their space. So some landowners just say, "Hey, you know what? You can just use my plot, and you can just use it for free, or you can hang out here, or here's like a little space that you can create in my area." So all those are options on the table.
You know that we're
Right.
just like months away from having legal leases associated with these, right?
No, 100%. This is totally going to happen. Like I think, in fact, there's probably already organizations like building out that functionality now. But pineapple, you said that you already tested it out, or was it reference? You went into Decentraland.
I tested part of it out, but my computer doesn't like it because I think it's not up to date. Because my fans are like spinning and it sometimes will freeze my computer. At least
Ah,
Decentraland does. I don't know about the crypto voxels yet.
gotcha. Actually, you know what? I can actually pull it up on screen and give you guys like a walkthrough. That might be a great opportunity here. But yeah, sorry, we kind of just like went into stuff. So hello everybody. Thanks for joining. Uh and hey Marcus, how's it going? Good to see you. This may be one of your first times joining, if I remember correctly. But nice to have you. And good to see the regulars back as well. Um so yeah, feel free to pop up any questions that you might have in the live Q&A channel, and yeah, we're just here to hang out and jam a bit. I'll give some updates on how things are going over at Leyline and development, and yeah, just gonna kind of shoot the S while we're here. Um, all right, so actually, let me know if my internet's like not doing great because I'm on VPN right now here in Bali, like on a hotel Wi-Fi. So if it gets choppy or ugly, just give a shout out here. But I will load up Decentraland and Crypto Voxels and start give you guys a tour. So that way next week we can hang out both on Discord and here too. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Uh,
Jeremy, while you're working on that, I'm just
mhm.
curious how much the Leyline starter kits usually cost, or does it depend on like what country?
It depends on the country and then the area. So in the two
Okay.
specific areas where we're doing that,
Yeah.
in Haiti, the kit is about 150 US dollars. So um, that gets a smartphone, solar battery pack, and internet for about a year. And with Africa, specifically South Africa, that is $250. So it really depends on like the
Oh, Jeremy, I think we're losing you.
it's Oh no, it, it could be. Let me shut off my video so that way it does not destroy my internet. How's that? Is that a bit better?
Did you find a deal? Is it now 250 in Africa? Because it used to be 350.
Oh, was it 350? Sorry, it might be 350. Yeah, you're right. I think it is 350. Yeah, please forgive me. My brain is very foggy because of lack of sleep.
I was
So
just excited. I thought you found a deal.
yeah. Um, so the strategy is, now that we've kind of proven out that, one, we can raise funds via NFT sales, that we can allocate it, that we have NGO partners and trusted folks that can manage this on the ground. We are actually going to start to reach out to get corporate sponsorships from, hardware companies, IT companies, including folks like, Google, and say, listen, we're here like directly helping people in impoverished communities that desperately need this. Why don't you, donate, a couple hundred phones, or like even like 50 phones over to the cause. We help to deploy, we help to provide mentorship, training, technical support, economic and digital support, and we can make a huge difference like very quickly. And the whole incentive model is, people are going to be doing good things to earn the sustainable income. So that's a big strategy. So, I'm working out on, those pitches and the pitch deck. We've got a new team member, Liana, who's joined us on the biz dev side, that's got a number of these contacts as well. And we're starting that heavy outreach to kind of pull in all the corporate support. And that's the hope, that we can start really planting the seeds all over the place in these, impoverished areas that desperately need access, and now start doling out cryptocurrencies through our prize pool. So yeah, that's the formula. We're pushing hard to make that all happen, and on the ground here in Indonesia, in Bali, doing the same exact thing. So come this week, we're going to be having a number of activations, like I'll be out on the streets with my team here now, giving out some food, cooking, raising funds, cleaning up some of the polluted rivers and areas here, and start getting it in people's hands and have them all earn NFTs and crypto. So it's gonna be kind of cool.
Hey,
I'm
how does
excited about
that
it.
work with COVID?
You can pair up, and so we're not going to do like a 50-person event. What we have are like pairing up people 2 by 2 to tackle specific, events and challenges. And for the most part, you just mask up. You have to stay out before curfew, which I think is like 8 p.m. in lockdowns. But yeah, life still functions here. It's just a little bit more restricted.
Okay, just the giving out food part kind of made me wonder.
Yeah, well, the alternative is like literally starving. People are literally starving. Like, in Bali, 80% of all the GDP here is coming from tourism. So you can imagine what that's, been like for an entire year of like, 80% of their GDP totally disappearing. So it's pretty ugly. There's a lot of suffering going on. And yeah, so, I think when it comes to wear a mask and get food, or starve, it's a pretty
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
easy,
good for you.
answer. Yeah.
Jeremy, before we
Um,
get into Decentraland, Martin asked, do you know what solar battery pack is in our packs that we're giving out?
oh, so the way that we do it is, we actually are working with our NGO partners on the ground, who basically solicit, to source all the materials. So we just send the money over, and they provide the receipts and photo, whatever evidence, but they basically go to their local, electronic shops or distributors. So in the case of Haiti, they actually have to go drive out to Port-au-Prince and go to the city where they can make those purchases. And similar for South Africa, like, they're coming out of or they're heading out from the rural areas to make the purchases. So it's pretty intense because, specifically in Port-au-Prince, and um, South Africa, there's like a lot of violence erupting right now. The Haitian president was assassinated last week, and the South African ex-president was arrested, and there's like just tons of violence going on. So Fakama and David and Joseph, um, our kind of like field team out there, have had to brave some pretty intense situations to get that hardware. So it's kind of crazy, guys. Like it's a weird and insane world that we're living in these days.
Yeah, that's if they can get it at all in South Africa. A lot of the malls have burned down.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
not burned down, been looted. Sorry, been looted.
yeah, it's really, really concerning. Um, so, but yeah, that's the entire intent is that a lot of this like struggle is coming because of scarcity, and it's going to take us like a long time to fix that, but I think the more you can give economic empowerment into people's hands, the less you're going to see this kind of strife and chaos and suffering. Because like frankly, a lot of the root behind people's like anger and frustration like tends to be, hey, I can't eat. like it really starts there. Like when you can't feed your population, that's when real like rioting and looting and anger begins. So that's a pretty easy one to solve. It's like give people enough money so they can buy food, um, and surprise, there's going to be less violence. But anyway, that's the challenge that we face. So the first thing you do is like equip them with smartphones, and then you teach them, you educate them on, hey, now all of a sudden you can start to interact in a digital economy. You can create artwork or play games and sell it. You can get a DeFi loan and start to have funds for your business. You can transact with each other, and it just opens up so many opportunities. It's really incredible. And then imagine this, like for the first time in your life, you can access Wikipedia, which like contains the sum total of human knowledge, like forever. Like, can you imagine going from zero to the sum total of all human information at your fingertips? Like that is truly game changing. And stuff like we've been like literally swimming in for decades now. Um, but yeah, this is a opportunity of a lifetime. Sorry to soapbox as usual. All right, but anyway, so here's the Central Land, and it's actually so one of the kind of premier metaverse experiences. And when we talk about the metaverse, like one of the key parameters here is it's naturally an open world that you can explore, typically 3D with a specific art style, but it's underpinned by blockchain. So specifically, they are using blockchain to create NFT land. So what happens is that landowners can purchase plots of land that they can just build up whatever experience that they want. And the type of assets that you can display and use in that metaverse are also NFTs. So it could be the wearables that you have, the hats that you're wearing, or the art and music that you're playing or you are displaying inside your virtual homes. So that's kind of the key definition behind metaverse. So there are going to be more and more and more of these open worlds and the kind of bubble universes that pop up where you can take your NFTs and your digital identity and log in. So in this specific case, you can like MetaMask is kind of like the primary crypto browser wallet used to log in to many different sites. So we use Kykis for the Clayton blockchain, but MetaMask is specific for Ethereum. So Ethereum is by far the most leading smart contract and NFT blockchain, which has its problems because it's not on proof of stake; it's on proof of work. So it's like very expensive and computing intensive. So not great for the environment right now. So it's why we're choosing Kykis. But anyway, first thing to do is to ensure that you've got your MetaMask wallet and you can sign in with that account in the same way you could sign into any other number of blockchain websites. So once you're in, it's basically kind of like this cool little virtual world and use your like WASD keys like a first person shooter. You can kind of hang out, and this is the main lobby here. Are you guys able to see the screen okay? Is it coming through decently?
It's a
I
little
wonder if my
laggy.
It's a little glitchy.
Oh damn. Okay. Well, I'll try my best to make it not as horrible. But what I highly recommend, you can just go to play.decentraland.org and you can already start to log in and you can meet up with me in a cool place. So what we'll do, let's go to this Creek Museum here. So you can actually scroll up and down using E and F. So let's see what kind of stuff is going on. Grab some events and we'll go into the Creek Museum. So now let's jump in. And so you can see the location here. So all the different land plots are based off of these coordinates. So this specific land plot is at -89, -83. So if you want to do some commands and teleport, so if you hit enter and do /help, you can see all the different kind of commands that you can do. And one of the commands is go to, so it teleports to another parcel. So if I just type in go to, I mean, I can click this button here, or I could just type in go to -89, -83, and voila, I begin to teleport. And I take my special cool avatar into this new place. So it'll take a while for it to load up. But once you do that, anybody else's avatars that have teleported there too will show up. So that's why I think, for this week, you guys should totally start to sign up and, build your own avatar, sign in with MetaMask, and then we can hang out in Discord and, chill with our avatars. And I'll try to pick a space where we can kind of display some of our own stuff. And I think what I'll set it up is that everyone hanging out there, maybe we should just like plug in our NFTs and display it, and kind of chat about it, hang out, do some cool stuff. So anyway, any questions since we're loading here? All right, no questions.
No questions, but Martin did make a good point that it looks like you're streaming at 1080p, and if you reduced it to 720, it might help with the lagging.
Oh, awesome. Okay, let me do that. That would make perfect sense. 720. And if I reduce the frame rate as well, would that work?
Yeah, that would probably help. It would probably help.
All right. How about that? Is that a much better loading screen? Choppiness?
I think so. We won't know until you're really in the thing. I think it's okay right now.
You can see the body scan. So yeah, I guess by responses, do you guys already have MetaMask accounts? Because that's probably the first step.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Yeah, because I think once you've got MetaMask, it just opens up a whole world of different things to do. And I think the big thing, or rather the really hot trend right now, are these avatar projects on OpenSea. So I've been really digging into this for the past couple weeks, into that whole space and the communities. And what's really popular are these generative 10K projects, where basically they mint 10,000 unique avatars. And while this is loading, I can actually just show you.
You just need to go to our Discord page. You can see most of them there.
Sorry, Chris, what did you say?
I said you just need to go to our Discord page. Most of them have been listed there by now.
Oh yeah, NFT projects, right? Yeah. So yeah, like a lot of what's playing out now on OpenSea, you're gonna see these different types of avatar projects. They have 10,000 uniquely generated avatars, and so they start off as these art pieces that have their unique feature sets, and then what will eventually happen, a lot of these projects, they're basically promising that, hey, we're going to take this avatar and then we're going to, port them into Decentraland. So it has this kind of continued continuity of your identity into different areas of the metaverse. So that's very much what we're building and what we have been building for a while. So we're going to start to really refine that approach. That way, the avatars that you're getting on a platform and through our prize pool and mystery box will have this very clear, distinct. Okay, this is a Leyline avatar. So we're working now with our art team to figure out our the avatars we're going to use to represent like a Leyline user. And the whole impetus is that through our brand, you recognize that okay, in order for you have to receive this Leyline avatar, you have to have earned it by something doing good in the real world, and versus something like okay, you went in here and spent $15,000 to just buy this thing, and that gives you access to the club. We're kind of going the opposite direction where you get into and you become a member of the club by being a good human being. So that's why MetaMask is really key, because now you can log in to OpenSea and start to check out all the different projects that are going on. So I think if you go into the collectibles category over here, you can kind of check out and see what are the different projects that are going on. Looks like Super Ducks is a thing now. See, another 10K project. Floor price is the cheapest price it takes to actually get one of these guys. And honestly, it's a bonanza right now. There are projects coming in left and right, animating or generating a bunch of avatars and saying, yeah, this is gonna be the next big thing. And everyone's rushing in and buying up a bunch of the avatars in the hopes that it'll raise price like crazy, which is actually happening. People are making thousands of dollars in profit just buying early and then trading and selling, and it's become this whole art swappable mania, which is super interesting to see. Honestly, I don't know how it's all going to play out. There's certainly elements of a bubble playing out, but at the same time, really strong projects like Bored Apes make a ton of sense, because that community will continue to grow, and as the community grows, collectors like to own pieces of that art, and will pay top dollar for it. So see this one here got the floor price of 0.02, only 2.8K items, and so that's stuff that we've got brewing on the side on our with our art team to start to create our own little version of this that's unique to Leyline.
Well, and I think you're definitely onto something, because it's not like the average person can get a Bored Ape at this point. I mean, it's gentrified so quickly. I really like the idea that all this takes is good apps.
Yeah, totally. And because how crappy would it be? It would be yeah, we're gonna hook you up with a Leyline starter kit, and if you want to get an avatar, pay another $7,000. That would feel kind of disingenuous for the people that we're trying to serve and help out. And to be fair, we still want we're still I think the strategy is we're trying to build that bridge between people in the developed world that have a lot of access to cryptocurrencies and money that they can invest into art pieces, into avatars, and the people that are totally brand new to the space and brand new to the internet. I think that's really the hope, is that Discord and our community is the bridge that connects these people together, because there's really no reason for us to live in these totally separate worlds. The internet really bridges us all together, and so in the metaverse there is no boundary there. It doesn't matter whether you live in Maine or Canada or Haiti or Bali or whatever. We're all just people, and all of a sudden we all have access to the same things. So now what really separates us is kind of nothing. So the hope is that this becomes a bridge for us to humanize each other and build real relationships and share real stories of this is what life is like on the ground for me. And I think that's really important, to develop empathy and to kind of broaden your perspectives of the world outside of your existing bubble. And we need more empathy for people to care about the struggles in the world so that they can spend their money in the right places. So my general thing is oh man, if I'm spending every day buying like a $7 cup of coffee at Starbucks, like is that the most like optimal use of my like resources and what I can do in the world? Like it at least makes you think just a little bit before you make those key decisions and where you end up spending your money, and then that's the hope, is that it kind of changes the way some of the big like crypto collectors are spending their money now, because there's a lot of money out there. It's kind of crazy.
Well,
So
and beyond all of that, Leyline could be the only project I've heard of that has zero financial barrier to entry. So again, you're just doing good acts to get your avatar. Everything else requires a ticket to play, you know?
yeah, yeah, for sure. I totally agree. And I think there what's I think is going to be nice is that there will be projects that are, totally, you can start from the ground up to begin to earn, and a lot of that's going to happen through gaming. So, man, sorry guys, my internet kind of really sucks here, so I don't know if I'll be able to demo Decentraland as well. Um but yeah, so if you think about a lot of free to play games, people are already in the Philippines, for example, playing Axie Infinity, which is a blockchain game, and ugh, um, so they're actually just playing a game, collecting these like unique rare assets and generating them, and then collectors are buying them for Ethereum. So people are already creating like a living wage by playing that game. So I think what'll happen is, for anybody that comes onto the internet and onto blockchain, they'll have this whole myriad of options of things that they can choose to do to spend their time on, whether it's creating artwork or playing a game. And in our case, it's, hey, do something good for your local community and for your own like personal wellness and for your family, and volunteer for an org, and you can earn as well. Um, so I think it just gives a huge range of options for people to kind of come into the space and start to develop that basic income. And it's an earned income too. It's not even just a free handout. It's like tied to some contributing real value into the world. So that's the vision. And I think like we are in a really good spot where we've kind of proven that out. Like we now know that it works, that we have the capacity to do it, that we have the platform. And so most of it is getting our operations to scale and allow us to repeat this model over and over and over again, very efficiently, while at the same time building out our product and making our website like needs some serious love, as you can see, and refining our NFTs. But that's the whole approach, is that it's this whole iterative process where we're just constantly building and refining and adapting and developing nonstop. So anyway.
All right. Speaking of NFTs, Martin asked, does buying an EV qualify a user for an NFT?
Does buying an EV qualify a user? Not yet, but I absolutely see that as an action for sure. Um, what do you guys think? Because I'm totally
Absolutely.
supportive of that. Yeah. All right. You know what? Let me add that onto the backlog because I really do love that idea. We're gonna make that happen, Martin. Are you gonna buy an EV, by the way? And I think maybe it wouldn't necessarily be an NFT. I think we could do a couple things. We can create a badge, an achievement, for your profile, and it could also just be like the just Leyline points. I feel like we could just dump a whole bunch of Leyline points for you, which you could use to spend on the mystery box, where you can earn, an assortment of NFTs and crypto and cash value prizes. So you can kind of see already that we're going to trend a little bit away from like the whole like gift card model that we've got right now, which frankly is kind of a pain when like people are trying to claim stuff, and then shift over to a mystery box like kind of randomized prize distribution system, which I could probably show a preview of that, since I'm totally failing at demonstrating Decentraland right now. So let me pull up a different window. But yeah, actually, I do think it could be as simple as you guys submit a receipt of an EV that you purchased, and boom, we'll grant those rewards. What do you think, Bex? Maybe we could just add it to the Google form, I guess, a temporary stopgap solution.
We could, though the Google form is for like volunteering and such, so it might muddy the waters a little bit, but we can
Yeah,
discuss in
let me
meetings
talk
and try to figure out the best way to do it.
Yeah, let me talk. We'll talk to the dev team and see what a good low hanging fruit solution is. Like
Yeah.
adding an impact card on the website, for example.
Yeah, I
might
do
be
think a
way-
good like badge on it would be good, like a clean driver kind of thing.
Yeah, I love it. And yeah, it's interesting. I'm talking to friends, and they're posting on social or whatever, asking questions like, oh, what car should I buy? And uh I like people will suggest like, oh, get this car, this car, this car, which are like all gas powered, and I'm just like biting my tongue. It's like, guys, fuck, climate change is here and it is destroying us. Like, please just buy a fucking EV. I think I don't know why. I feel like this very deep sense of urgency. Like literally, Europe is now flooded. Like, what is it? It's Germany and Switzerland and a couple of other places that got hit with these massive floods, like tremendous destruction. Hundreds of people are already dead, and like I think over 15 or 1600 people are missing, with huge amounts of infrastructure destroyed. So like historic flooding. We just had this whole heat dome in the northwest of North America, where I think it was around 900 people died from like heat related um, mortality. And we had 1 billion animals get roasted alive in Canada, along the oceans and the coasts. Like I spent time there walking those shorelines with all those mussels, and 1 billion of those creatures are now dead. Like it is horrifying. Like climate change is here and it's smacking us in the face. And we're still buying gas guzzlers. Like I'm so confused, honestly. Like what the heck's going on? Um, so anyway, yes, you know what, we're doing this. Like we are going to totally reward people buying electric vehicles. I'm tired of waiting for people to wake up. Let's just pay them to make the right decisions. So anyway, sorry to get a little bit heated on that one. But yeah, so what we are actually working on right now is mystery box. So Christian, one of our designers, is starting to build out the animation of our Leyline mystery box and get the kind of cool video effect where you'll start to make your purchases, throw in your Leyline points, and then out will randomly come out some cool prizes. So the gift cards and sponsored submissions will definitely still be there. But you'll be getting like the combination of the NFTs and like the specific crypto prizes. And we'll make it at the cheaper price point too, where you get to spin the box more frequently. And yeah, that's the game plan. We're gonna probably have this in place hopefully in the next couple weeks or so. We've had to slow down on dev because honestly we are like in pretty rough shape when it comes to funding, so we've had to tighten up our budget. But working on rebuilding all of that. Yeah, I'll pause there because there's a whole rabbit hole to talk about. Any questions about that or comments? All right, Robert, I see your comments here. Oh yeah, the salmon. I just saw that. I read about that too. And yeah, literally, the government is trying to, uh, you know, collect a bunch of like salmon and transplant them to basically keep their population alive. So it's pretty awful. And then when you think about it, the cost of damage to infrastructure, the loss of human and animal and plant life, the impact on your economies as a result of like disruptions to your supply chain and food chain, all of these things are gigantic amounts of money that's now being lost or spent. So when we think about it, it's like, oh, can we afford to shift over to like a better, green economy? It's like, of course, because the cost is like incalculable. Like, you have to think holistically around what it actually means to spend money on things.
Yeah, and
Um,
you haven't even covered the pollinators yet.
yeah, yeah, that's really scary. And what's happening is that these are all tied together, so it's entire ecosystems that are collapsing. So it even kind of factors in like what are we doing about animal conservation and ecosystem conservation? Like, are we taking care of like the ocean, because now we're getting all these algae blooms from pollution dumping into the waters, which are creating dead zones because the algae eats up it like rots and eats up all the oxygen, killing all the fish and sea life there. And all of that is important for capturing carbon out of the atmosphere. So we're doing some really nasty stuff to the planet, and it's really starting to bite us in the butt. Uh, so yeah, the urgency's there, and my thesis is we're not going to be able to really stop those things until we actually liberate humanity. Like, we need to move humanity out of this scarcity mode and just activate the sum total potential of human like intelligence and goodwill by first making them not poor. Like, let's get people not poor so they can actually do stuff, where they can like spend the time to go beyond their basic needs into helping their community, and to get more politically active and to do more volunteering, or to use their money towards buying more sustainable goods and supporting companies that might be a little bit more expensive, but they know that they can actually support that because they have the money to do that. I think like we can't really start to solve these big systemic problems until we help the individuals and empower them. So that's my thesis, at least, and it's not the only pathway to solve our crisis, but it's like an important first step, and and to me a prerequisite, because before we liberate humanity, we're still going to be stuck under the boot of these like corporate overlords that want to keep their power and like continue extracting value out of the system to their benefit. um, it's dark, and it's pretty grimy, but I think that is kind of the truth if you just look at the numbers and the science and the data. And I don't think we can win it by like posting angry tweets on Twitter. We've got to like literally change the system and change the flow of money. So it's no easy task, I'll say that. But the solution's there. Like, we have the tools, we have the weaponry, we have the communities like that are now building up. So we just got to invest in the people, and it will happen. I can see it. I can see it. Probably 5 to 10 years. I think I see that on the horizon. This whole transformation of society, thanks to blockchain and people like us that are gathering here trying to figure this stuff out. Man, I should get more sleep these days because I get very rambly and very soapboxy.
I'm kind of amused.
But yeah, so what was that?
I'm kind of amused by it.
But yeah, anyway, so yeah, what's your plan, Martin? Do you drive an EV now, or are you planning to purchase one in the near future? Oh, yeah, I just saw it. You got a notification car arrive. Congratulations, that's amazing. What did you purchase? Tesla? What and Robert, what is Sunrise Movement? And like what's really interesting too about protests, I mean, you could see over the past 3 to 4 years, we've like had this gigantic, probably the biggest protest in the history of humanity around climate and around inequality. And to me, one of the most disturbing facts is that despite all of that, despite like the amount of like kind of anger and dissatisfaction and demonstration of that across the world, the system is still not changing. And it just makes you question like why hasn't anything fundamentally changed? And ultimately you just got to follow the money, like follow the money, because if we're talking about okay, what are the steps that reduce climate change? It's to reduce our emissions. Where are the emissions coming from? It's coming from the fossil fuel industry and transport and the food and meat industry, for example. Like that, just those two industries alone are probably around 60 to 70% of emissions globally. So where's the money going? Like, look at the amount of corporate lobbying money that's going into government and politicians' pockets coming from those industries. And then look at the policies that are related to it in terms of subsidies and taxation, um, and how it favors those industries and why none of that ever fundamentally changes. So it's really ugly when you follow the money. You just see it's like, okay, corporations have a ton of money. They have the ability to just throw money to the government, and a government is going to be like, okay, yeah, I guess we'll just do it and just keep it going because we're fattening our pockets, staying in power, and then humanity suffers as a result. Like we don't get to innovate in the right direction. So you got to solve the money problem. If you want to solve like the systemic problem, you got to start with the money. And um, so yeah, unfortunately, the existing system has kind of been co-opted. Like it's kind of locked in at this point. Like the bad guys have won. Like unfortunately, so if you can't change that system, time to upgrade and like build something new and better in parallel. So I think that's why this whole decentralized world gives us that opportunity finally for that once in a lifetime, or rather, this is a once in a lifetime, once generations. Something this kind of tech has never existed in the history of humanity. So it's a great opportunity. It's a great space to be in. Like it's quite liberating. I see. Yeah. And yeah, there's a lot of those movements, Robert, like Sunrise Movement, and uh, and that's why I've got a lot of hope with this, future generation, like Generation Z and beyond, where they see it very clearly, and they're just like, "Yep, this whole system is kind of BS. Like we totally get it." And I think they just need a set of tools and a pathway for them, and the message like resonates. Like this vision of a better future. They crave that. So I'm and they're all like amazing creators. Like they live and breathe this digital world. This new this type of space is custom designed for how they function. So the main thing is now design this new metaverse, this new NFT landscape, this whole like art world, such that it's making their world better, and they will flock to it. So we can do this, guys. We can do this. This is a very ambitious, risky, crazy project. But yeah, we're making good progress. I can see it. It's a grind. All right. Anything else you guys want to chat about?
I'm excited for the project.
Thanks, Raffluence. Yeah, it's I'm hustling, man. I'm working like super hard to kind of pull all this stuff together. And yeah, stay tuned. I think these next like couple weeks, like things are gonna really ramp up fast. The fact that we've kind of proven out this concept um, in Haiti, in Africa, and then soon now in Bali. The partnerships that we've got lined up are pretty significant, and my job is to really close on those deals and get a lot more exposure. And as I can solve like our big fundraising challenges, that gives us the capacity to bring in a lot more of our hardcore developer needs, particularly blockchain development. And then also our collaborations with a lot of artists to start to really refine our avatar style and our project. All these pieces are now really coming together. So I'm super excited for the next like few months or so. It's just going to take a lot of like really hard grinding and hustling. And uh, for a little while as I try to pull all this stuff together. All right, guys. Well, if that's it, we can call it for the day. And hey, Bex, what's the NFT that we're dropping for this session?
It's already dropped. It is the Plague Doctor.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, and so yeah, one thing I will say, I want to make sure that all of you guys as early adopters are really going to be benefiting significantly. So all of these drops that we do now, even though they're kind of like, test and placeholder pieces, those are living forever. And we're going to make sure that there's going to be a lot of functionality gets baked into those and that those remain as like these super ultra exclusive, like non-repeatable NFTs. So we're kind of doling them out freely right now for our alpha group, but as we grow and as we mature our platform, these are going to be some incredibly rare and high functional items. So do collect as much as you can right now. Try to land grab as best as you can, because that whole model is like becoming a reality where these bored apes are selling for like 17-20K easy. um and yeah, so I think the scarcity and rarity of what you're going to collect now, it'll look very different like a year from now, what your actual NFTs look and what you can use them for. So hang on to them and collect them as much as possible, and feel free to trade them on a marketplace as well. So it's going to be nice. I got some big plans for what our NFTs are going to do. Stay tuned.
I'm really digging this ability to live drop.
Ability to what?
To live drop them like this?
Oh yeah. Well, right now we're still doing them manually.
Yeah, I
with
just
the
manually
admin
did it
tool.
while we were here.
Okay.
But that's what Elijah is going to be working on in the future is basically dropping it through our Discord bot. So it'll all kind of like happen nice and seamlessly. So yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna make drops like quite easy to do. And what we can also do is actually you can integrate MetaMask login right into Discord, and I believe we could probably do the same for Kaikus. So there's a whole lot of like ways we can weave together these different platforms, so it all kind of feels very seamless. And it actually puts less emphasis on having to build everything from scratch on our website, where we can just use all these different tools and platforms to get the experiences that we need. And mostly it becomes what kind of logic we want to bake into the actual NFT smart contract and the logic there. That's really going to be the core of what Leyline's functionality is all about. And obviously, like all the nonprofit verification, that like data proof of good that we do, that's like solely unique. Nobody on a planet is doing that right now. So that's like kind of our core bread and butter. But things like marketplace and trading and selling, like OpenSea does all the job for that. So we should just totally leverage that. Like we don't need to like recreate chat functionality on our website because we got it here on Discord. So I think we just need to weave together that ecosystem, and we could allow us to move pretty fast. So again, Elijah, thank you so much for really making all that possible through Discord. Like it's game changing, honestly, and probably has saved us tens of thousands of hours of development work to try to build that stuff ourselves.
It's my pleasure. It's been fun to work on, and I'm enjoying the experience.
Right on. Yes. All right, guys. So if there's no other things to share, so next time I'm gonna be better prepared. Hopefully, fix my internet issues. I can do more of like those live demos. And I think I'll probably just post some instructions as well, prior to us getting together, so we can actually do a meetup like in Decentraland. And yeah, we'll do some cool stuff and start to display some of the NFT artwork we got in our like Leyline gallery. That's the plan for upcoming sessions.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Thanks a lot, everybody. Go sign
Thank
up for
you.
Decentraland so we can hang out there for next time.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.